Hello, welcome to Popalong RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing, and here on the table I've got some amazing cars, and it has been an amazing year, but I have got a little bit of a problem actually, and I don't know whether it's a me problem, a Popalong problem, or a problem you guys also experience. Okay, so what is this problem I have got? Well, if you are a regular to the channel, you will know that we drive all sorts of cars and we try to pop along to as many clubs as possible. But one problem we have is we just haven't got enough time. We're working full time and trying to race, create content, and there just aren't enough days in the year. Which brings me on to the main issue that I've got. So, I have started to try and map out 2026 for us, and the weeks are filling up already. We've already kind of pre-planned what we want to be doing up to sort of September this year, and it's a bit crazy. So I'm going to run through some of the dates that we've got in here, and hopefully if we've missed anything, you guys can add it in the comments and we can get it added into our diary. Because although this is sort of what we're planning, there are lots of competitions we haven't yet considered. So we want to go to varied comps, we want to go to varied locations, we want to experience as much as we can, and unfortunately there's loads of clashes this year. So let's take a little look at what we've got. So January, at the moment I am booked in for Carpet Legends, where I'm running my FT9. I've booked in for the whole series, so whenever Carpet Legends appears on my calendar, I know those ones are booked in. Running the FT9 Schumacher Fronty, absolutely loving that. Brilliant competition, brilliant atmosphere. It's sort of that club racer vibe on the big platform. Beautiful, love it. And then towards the end of January, there is the Model Sport Vintage Masters. Mark did actually have a spot at this one. He did have to pull out because unfortunately he's working that weekend, which is a slight issue, so we've had to give that a miss. Then we slide into February. Early on in Feb, 7th and 8th, I am running this beautiful car over here. This is, again, it's another Schumacher. We've got the Schumacher Storm ST2. I am going to be running this at the MKGP. Mark, again, he's not working, but it's his wife's birthday, so he can't join me racing on the track at the MKGP. But he is going to come along. We're going to shoot some footage. We're going to do our interviews. We're going to have a great time on that one. I've paid for that already, so that one is definitely confirmed. I need to pick up some new wheels and tyres because they're running control tyres this year. And I think that's kind of what was the setback for me last year, is that I just didn't have the right tyre combinations and I just couldn't compete. Alright, they were better drivers than me, and it was my first proper competition running the car, but the tyres didn't help. Anyway, that is Feb. Moving into March. Now, at the moment, in March, I've definitely got a Carpet Legends booked in, so that again is running the Fronty. But we've also got Model Sport are doing their sort of vintage series. So they've got the Masters, but then they've got a series of events. And they've got one of their vintage events down at Mendip. That's towards the end of the month. But the competition that I think I'm going to be focusing on in March is running this. This is the Corrali SBX 825. And hopefully I'm going to get to run this at the e-buggy nationals. There's two events that I might be able to get to. The first one is at Hearts in March, and we'll come on to the next one a little bit later on. So that's March already kind of filling up, and then we're coming into April. At the moment, April's looking a little bit bare. We've got the London Iconic. Now this year I'm probably going to go back to running the minis. I've just seen that Tamiya have re-released the MO5, which this is, but they've also got the Mini, the Monte Carlo shell on the Mini coming out. So I'm hoping to pick up a brand new Tamiya MO5, build it up to Iconic Cup spec so that I can race that at the Iconic Cup this year. I don't know, again, looking at the calendar, I don't know how many rounds I'm going to get to. I do hope we get West London. It is our local. We've supported that event for the last 5 years, I think. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Mark and I get a spot at the London Iconic in April. And then we've got the old school Euro Masters at the end of April. That one, I believe, takes place in Germany. Don't know that we're going to be able to make that this year, which kind of means April is a little bit free at the moment. So there is a good chance that we will be running one of our Popalong rallies over at Mill End, either March, April time this year. So as the weather starts to improve and we start to get back outside, look for a date around that time. The Mill End Vintage GP, not Vintage GP, rally. Fantastic last year, real family vibe, real sort of come and have a go atmosphere, and we want to keep that same, getting more people into the hobby sort of vibe this year. Moving into May, so May is looking pretty busy. I haven't actually put all the dates on the spreadsheet, but it is looking crazy busy. So again, I've got a Carpet Legends definitely booked in, and that is over at Stevenage. But then we've got the Iconic Cup in Carlisle. This is an event I've not actually done yet. Carlisle, I think it's about a 6-hour drive, so you're looking at 12-hour round trip. It's going to have to be a weekend if we do it. So that might actually be the May bank holiday weekend, first weekend in May. So it might be we can do that. I don't know. At the same time though, A1 Raceway, Grantham have got the Truck Nationals on. So obviously I've got my stadium truck here, but this year I want to be running a stadium truck. I'm looking at the moment at what stadium truck I'm going to get. Hopefully I'm going to get one ready so I can run that at the Nationals. I said I was going to do it last year. I never got around to it. The reason being is we just get so chock-a-block with events, and we run out of time in the calendar, as it were. So Truck Nationals is definitely on my radar. And then 16th and 17th of May, we've got NDOR Model Sport Vintage again. So that's the Vintage series, so we can look at doing that. The following week is the 23rd, 24th. Again, Truck Nationals. So there's potentially 2 Truck Nationals in May. However, that same weekend is the next round of the e-buggy Nationals. Again, we've got a clash. What do I do? Do I go with the trucks? Do I go with the e-buggies? Do I do one of each? I don't. It's tricky. It's tricky to fit everything in. The following week, Halifax. That's what, a 4-hour drive from here. So that'll be an 8-hour round trip. We did it in one day last time, but that's for the Iconic Cup. Again, that one's a little bit of a trek. So yeah, in June we have got Bourton Truck Nationals again. I don't know where that one is in relation to where we are, how far away that is. Again, we've got Cotswolds, the Iconic Cup, running either the MO5 or the TTO1s. I also might get an MO3 ready. Then we're moving into July. We've got the Model Sport Vintage event over at Stotfold. That is the local one for us. Then on the 12th, we could go to Broxtowe for the DTO2 challenge. That looks like quite a fun event. We did a little series with the Sand Viper and the Next Gen, which was on a DTO4 chassis. Then we have the 24th to the 26th. This is going to be the highlight of our year, potentially running our vintage cars over at Hearts. Now last year we ran the Popalong Vintage GP at Hearts. This year they're running the Iconic Revival at Hearts, so hopefully we can get a spot there. I've got this Top Force Evo that again I want to run it, and I've also got a Tamiya the Astute that I want to run in the 2-wheel drive. Mark's got his Cougar, his Mardave He's got his RC10. He's got all manner of cars, the YZ10. He might be looking at another Trick Bits car, which he did very well with last year at Oswestry. So at Oswestry, we were running in the rain and the mud. Back on Astro this year. Again, that should be an amazing event. And hopefully we'll get to do the whole weekend. Then we are moving into August. We've got Coventry Truck Nationals. I think this is probably the local track as far as the Truck Nationals is concerned. So that's probably the one I've got most chance of getting to. Then the following weekend, at the moment, we've got penciled in the Popalong GP. And that will be at Stotfold this year. So again, we're running our GP event. We're going to change the rules ever so slightly. We want there to be lots of close racing and real fun vibe there. So we are running that over at Stotfold in August. The following week in August, we've got the iconic Cup again in Colchester, but there's also at NDOR Truck Nationals. So again, we've got options there. The following week, we're looking at Sheffield for the Model Sport Vintage. It's just crazy busy. We also wanted to look at doing a Tamiya event, an on-road event, potentially with the TTO1s, like a TTO1 championship where everyone's running TTO1s. We could incorporate a TTO1 truck into that. I know we've been in conversations with Stafford. Can we make that happen? Will that need to come in sort of August time? When else could we potentially fit it in? Because the calendar is getting booked up really fast already. Moving into September, we still haven't finished. We've got Broxtowe, one of my favourite tracks, running the Iconic Cup. I've had a few good runs there with the Mini in the past. And then the following week is the Revival at Bingham. We've not been to Bingham as yet. We've always ended up doing the opposite one. So whenever Bingham's there, we've done Oswestry and we've done the Broxtowe ones. We've not been to Bingham yet. But being that the other one is at Hearts, we're more likely to go to Hearts. That's the one we're going to try and get into. And John's very fair in that if you get a place in one, you probably won't get a place in the other because it is so overly subscribed. So that's the problem that I have got with my RC at the moment. I've got too many cars. There's no such thing as too many cars. I'm going to correct that. I've got not enough days to race all of my cars. I've got not enough weekends to fit in competing with all these cars. And unfortunately, there are clashes as the year goes by. Is it just because we're Popalong and we pop along places and we do lots of different classes that we have this issue? I haven't even mentioned on here the regionals and the nationals for buggy racing, the King of Clubs. Again, there's nationals for the two-wheel drive touring cars and the four-wheel drive touring cars. I've also got up there my F1 car that I want to run. We've got our rally cars that we'd like to do something with the rally cars. Yes, it's a problem. Is that a good thing for RC? Is it good that we've got so many classes and so many events for us to run these days? Pop it in the comments down below. What do you think? Am I just whinging about nothing? Or is this a real dilemma that other people also have? Anyway, like, subscribe, hit the old ding dong bell, and hopefully we'll see you in another video.